You can start.
All right. So you're looking here at a Firefox OS device. This is one of the ZTE devices, and the first thing you'll notice is that as a piece of hardware, it's actually pretty affordable hardware. You're not looking at a top-of-the-line $700 smartphone here. But even still, you've got a smartphone-like feel, right? I mean, I've got lots of apps installed. I can obviously dial the phone. That's something every phone ought to be able to do. And because it's Firefox OS, you've got the Firefox browser built in. Of course you would. You know, in terms of applications, the power of it being Firefox OS is that it's built of the web. And the web's been around for a long time, so we don't have to start from zero. There's actually millions of web applications already out there. And so you can see I've got plenty of stuff installed, including major apps like Facebook and Twitter. Our App Store already has games from EA Games. It's got content from Disney. It's got MTV. It's got AccuWeather. All the things you'd expect to see in an app store, we get very quickly because either we can take their mobile website directly, which in many cases works well enough, or we can take something that they've got in the Android or iOS store and look under the covers and find that in many cases it's actually using a web app. You know, it's got some wrapper around it to make it feel like iPhone, but under the covers it's the web powering it. So our app count gets up very quickly. The nice thing as well at a conference like this where there's a lot of carriers and operators is that because the platform is open, they can do a lot of customization to it that would be difficult to do in a more locked down platform. So Telefonica was one of our early partners, and they tell us that in a lot of their emerging markets in South America, people watch their data usage very carefully. And so they were able to build a cost control app that's built in on their devices. And what it allows people to do is check how much data they're using on Wi-Fi, how much data they're using on 3G. This requires hooking in at the operating system level and would be really difficult to do with a closed platform. But because they've worked with us, because our code's all open source, it's really easy for them to build this kind of application and build the functionality right into the browser, or right into the OS, I should say. Because we take advantage of the web, the other thing we can do that's relatively difficult to do somewhere else is this thing we call dynamic app search. So yes, we have a marketplace where you can download apps, but you can also do a temporary search. Like, you know, last weekend was Oscar weekend, and so I can search for apps related to the Oscars. And if I've got any data connection here, it should come up in a minute. The booth is pretty crowded, so sometimes the data doesn't work. But when this does come up, you see it's pulled a bunch of applications from the web. So I can get data about the Oscars from Wikipedia in a sort of a one-time use way. Maybe I don't have the Wikipedia app installed. That's okay, I can go search the web for it. If I decide I like it, it's really easy for me to add it to my home screen, but if I decide I'm done with it, I can just get back to my home screen and pretend I was never there. So you get these one-time use applications, even for stuff that you don't really feel like installing on the phone. Other than that, you know, it's got email. I can try and load the marketplace, although again, we've got a pretty slow data connection here, so we'll see how well that works. But the marketplace looks much as you'd expect. It's full of apps. The difference with our marketplace that we've seen developers really responding to is that we want to connect developers and users, but we don't need to put ourselves in the middle. We don't need to lock that down and control it. So, you know, the Apple and Google App Stores both have been a real boon for developers. It's easy to write an app, put it in the store, and have money start flowing in. But if you want to do something new, if you want to pioneer a different kind of in-app purchase, you're not allowed to do it because the App Store terms say they have to be between you and your customers. But we don't have to do that. So if you want to use the marketplace in order to reach new users, that's great. We're happy to do that. But if you want to experiment and try something new, that's fine too. Our job is not to sit in the middle, and that's something we can do because Mozilla's a non-profit. We're not here to try and maximize our revenue. We're here to try and make the web and the smartphone ecosystem a more level playing field. So we'll help in any way we can, but we don't need to get in your way. So that's a pretty quick tour, but as you can see, it's a really simple smartphone OS, and yet it's quite powerful. And because it's built of the web, which evolved over the last 15 years on desktop machines, it can go from very lightweight and running on low-powered hardware, scaling right up to really high-powered, top-of-the-line smartphones. If you put this on something that's got the power, you know, you can be doing audio and video conferencing, you can be doing 3D gaming, you can be doing all the things you'd expect, honestly, from a desktop PC, because this is stuff the web's been able to do for some time. We're really proud of it. We're hoping to see devices in the summer of this year. Developer devices should be available for purchase even sooner, in a matter of weeks. So I'd encourage you to check it out.